After leaving our hero in a tricky situation with Liang and Yun, we are now back to see if he actually gets cooked for dinner. Luckily, Yang manages to bite his captors, and he makes a run for it. The dog boy realizes that his information on Yun was completely inaccurate, and that he needs to be more careful. However, the primary goal now is to escape the hungry maid girl before Yang can decide on what to do about his mission. It's a funny sequence overall, as Yang makes the face of a horrified victim, and Yun assumes the role of a psycho killer. She picks up a knife and threatens the dog boy against running away, because he's her dinner for tonight. A brief chase follows, but Yang dramatically bumps into a stern man named Zio, who is also holding a knife as if there's some kind of conspiracy against him. He is a bit surprised to see Yun in the kitchen, so he asks her what she's doing here. The maid girl is shown to be highly respectful of Zio, and tells him that it was the dog boy who came up to her. Yun claims that Yang is a free dinner, and then Zio takes a good look at our hero. Yang recognizes Zio to be the main butler of the Huang family, who is known to be a dead man. It doesn't make sense for him to be in the kitchen, but Yang has bigger issues to worry about, such as the psychopathic Yun who only wants to eat him and is willing to take any punishment for it. The tables turn horribly wrong for our hero, as he was hoping for Yun to be his ticket to success. Unfortunately, all she's done is add more drama for the dog boy because of her devilish desire for dog meat. The maid girl picks up her blade and makes a demonic face, almost like a ghoul. With Zio right in front of him, Yang is running out of options and needs to act fast, but then he finally has something going his way. Mr. Huang himself makes a rather sudden entrance and scolds Yun for being in the kitchen. Yang senses a glimmer of hope as he imagines bright lights shining behind Huang as he laughs in front of him. Our hero thinks that his savior is here to free him from this unfavorable comedy of errors, but he also knows that he only has one shot to make his point. Tensions run high in this immensely critical moment, as we see Zio bowing down to Huang, clearly implying that he's the boss. Huang comments that his family rarely eats dog meat, which is probably why Jun has adopted such a crazy alter ego. Yang tries to think of different ways to make himself look appealing to the boss man, and even considers taking a hostage among other more suitable options, where he will just try to act cute. That's when it hits him that a powerful man like Huang would not care about an innocent-looking dog. He would much rather prefer a loyal companion who will always be by his side and protect his honor, so Yang figures he should go all in, otherwise there is no other way for him but downhill. We can feel the anticipation building up, as the stakes are way too high for Yang. Now, our hero pumps himself up as if he's going to take on a monster army, and his posture surprises everyone in front of him. Yang decides to let himself loose in front of Huang, and starts barking at the other people in front of Huang so that he can establish dominance. However, he only ends up looking like a clown with no idea of what he's doing. Even Yun is confused as to what Yang is trying to do here, as Huang comments that the dog has to be extremely stupid if he's trying to shoo people away from his attacker. This is as good as the final nail in the coffin for our hero as he strikes a pose that confirms his defeat. Yang laments that he's going to meet an abrupt end, but then he finds an unlikely hero. Out of everyone in the room, it's the stern Zio who tells Huang that Yang was actually trying to protect him from the other people. This means that Huang has been blessed by God, because even animals are ready to serve him at all costs. Of course, we might consider the fact that Zio is simply flattering his boss to make him feel happy. However, he takes it a step further by stating that dogs like Yang will go down in history as the faithful pets of famous personalities, such as Huang himself. Zio's explanation is not just dramatic, but also imposing, which is what shocks the others, even Yang himself. If that wasn't funny enough, Zio also says that this is a good omen, which might symbolize Huang overthrowing all his opponents in Gusu Town. These words seem to do the trick for the wealthy merchant, as he bursts into laughter and comments on how even dogs are able to recognize their masters without any added assistance. Huang is seemingly pleased as he thanks Zio for his input, but the butler replies by saying that he had nothing to do with this statement. Instead, it is Huang's sense of pride and morals that has helped him attract such loyalty. In the middle of all this excessive praise, Yang is shocked to see how good Zio is with words, as he never would have expected something like this from such a dangerous man. After all, flattery isn't exactly a skill that deadly assassins are known to possess. Now, Huang finally pets Yang and tells him that he can become his pet because of his loyalty. This obviously puts a smile on our hero's face, but Yun is a bit disappointed because she can't have her dog dinner anymore. The merchant even decides to give Yang a pet name and calls him Yellow. Our hero can breathe a sigh of relief as he is not just out of danger, but has also achieved his primary mission. However, he doesn't like Huang's chubby hands, so he thinks out loud, although the only thing we can hear is barking. Now that the formalities are done with, Mr. Huang takes Yang to his new home, which is a nicely maintained kennel, probably worth more than the average man's salary. Our hero is thankful to his new master for the warm welcome and lives a life of luxury now. We see him feasting on a giant steak, and he's also grown a lot bigger than what he was during his time in the streets. Yun is also there with him, but she has her knife in hand because she wants to chop off all his extra fat for her own meal. Young is happy that he doesn't need to worry about food anymore and comments that his life is more settled now, while the same can't be said for the unlucky stray dogs of the city. Now, we see the dog boy posing for us and proudly declaring that he's the new dog boss of Gusu Town. The other stray dogs watch on in sadness, as they've just been beaten up for their general misbehavior by the townsfolk. Of course, Young still has his human mentality, so he states that his day has finally come, and it's time to fulfill his mission. Our hero maintains that it's still tricky being a pet dog, especially if the owner is a man as rich as Huang. This is because such men have fragile egos, so Young needs to be alert and keep an eye on him. The dog boy is able to figure out how to keep his master happy by using such techniques, and he does a pretty good job. Yang behaves himself whenever he sees that Huang is busy, and this only adds on as bonus points for him. Our hero avoids any unnecessary hatred, and he also knows how to make his master look good by flexing his silky fur coat in front of the public eye. Huang might have adopted Yang on an impulse, but with all his good boy behavior, our hero has also proven his value. Zio continues to tell Huang that Yang is a faithful dog, and even goes on to say that the dog boy's loyalty matches that of his own. The wealthy merchant is easily swayed by these sweet nothings, and it makes Yang's job much easier as he plans on how to become a human again. Of course, this means that he'll need to get a hold of Huang's money, so he stares at his master with shady intent. Now, Yang kicks off an imaginary sequence so that he can figure out a way to move all of Huang's liquid assets. This includes his treasury of silver ingots, and our hero even considers pulling off a money heist using the other stray dogs. Since he's looking at all possible outcomes, there's also the likelihood of Yang organizing an accident that will send Huang to the heavens and his money to the dog boy through his will. All of his wishful thinking is put to a halt when a random leg shows up and kicks him away. This leg belongs to a man named Wang Yaod, who is here to meet Huang. Neither Wang nor Yang like each other, but Wang's colleagues ask him not to waste his time on a dog. Our hero recognizes Wang and tells us that he's one of the competitive businessmen of Gusu Town. For some reason, this puts a smile on his face as he anticipates serious tension coming soon. Yun is asked to pour some tea for the guests, and Huang asks Wang what brings him here. The grumpy businessman gets straight to the point and screams at Huang without any concern for manners. Basically, Wang and his colleagues have businesses in clothing, tea, and glass, but they've all been made to suffer due to Huang's deceptive business tactics. The men reveal that Huang has only been in Gusu Town for a few months, but he's already turned the market upside down. They want to know what Huang has in store for them, but he only reasons that he was trying to make it big in the town. Since nobody spoke to him when he first arrived, Huang had to take drastic measures and create his own market. Wang tries to act nice to Huang and asks him to raise the tea prices, but the wealthy merchant Kami refuses his request. He recalls a popular saying about life teaching more valuable lessons than books, but this kind of talk only angers Wang, and he has to be controlled by his colleagues. Now, Yang makes an appearance and explains to us that 1 teal in this world is the same as $5 in the real world. Then, he says that Huang has spent over $10 million simply to suppress his competition, which is quite outrageous if we're being honest here. Wang keeps crying about his suffering business, but is taken away by his colleagues because they don't want him embarrassing them any further. Yang realizes that Huang isn't as impressive as people consider him to be. After all, he's only created a price war more than anything else, and he's quite ruthless too. This makes Yang think of a plan, but it's a rather bold one. At night, our hero heads towards the treasury, and it alarms the guards. However, they think that the dog boy is simply going to guard the valuables because of his loyalty toward Huang. Now, we see our hero in front of some books, and he mentions how he's a dog of dignity. The idea of a heinous murder might make him sick to the stomach, but this doesn't mean that he won't have other tricks up his sleeve. That's when Yang reveals that he's going to drain all of Huang's money, and that too with fair and square business tactics. This means that he's going to tap into his human knowledge and do something shady, yet legal. What on earth could the dog boy be planning? Is it really going to help him take down his own master? Like, share, and subscribe to find out in the next video. See you soon.